Welcome to my vlog. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. I'm Engineer Favor C. Chika Okafo. Today, we'll be looking at emotional abuse as another form of domestic abuse. In my previous video, we looked at assault and battery kind of domestic abuse. By assault and battery, I mean beatings, hittings, doing all kinds of things, inflicting pain physically on one spouse. We are looking at relationship and marriages. We are just bringing this into the marriage for now. So on the emotional abuse today, I want us to look at another form of abuse which can be neglected. And a lot of people, much more than those going through, or as high as those going through physical abuse, who are actually in one form of emotional abuse or the other. Now, what's emotional abuse to start with? And why is it an abuse? Emotion is there, meaning using emotion by any means to control another person for your own gain and for that own person's bad, no profit, to manipulate that person because of one thing or the other, especially power. Everybody likes power. Some people, they believe the way they can get it is by emotionally abusing the other person, making that person to blaming the person, putting the person in shame, or doing all kinds of things. When you are responsible for something, you just move it to the other person and you won't own up, you did, that kind of a thing. So anytime you are experiencing that kind of a thing, it is emotional abuse. And many relationships today, in many marriages, they endure a lot of emotional, or what I call relationship abuse. What are the forms of emotional abuse? Emotional abuse, because it's not anything that has to do with physical beating and co, it's more verbal abuse, and it can be separated again in two ways. One, the one that is more common, you see people call it nagging. Please let me also highlight here today, I'm not speaking to any particular people, because in the previous videos, what necessitated them was because of the fact that women were the victim. Naturally, I'm not somebody who sides either man or woman. I speak rationally about any situation. So in today's video, we are talking about both male and female, both husband and wife, not with regards to women or men. So in this abuse of a thing, I said emotional abuse can be identified in the verbal way. It's not anything that has to do with anybody beating you or slapping or using things to wound you. Now, it's verbal. One side is nagging, it can be by a woman or by a man. And another side is use of abusive word. The person is not nagging, it's not constantly beat. He can drop just one word, he has finished the person. I can give you an example so that you understand. Nagging, we all understood. Nagging, most times they will say nagging wife. There are nagging husbands, so as few as they are, but they exist. Yeah, so because anything that has a male has a female, otherwise it will not exist. So the other one that I said abusive word, all of them are abusive. Abuse is there, but the other side of word, there are few. It might even be just one sentence, one word. The person has finished the other person. For instance, somebody might want to say, "Oh, honey, can you see? Hey, how do you think? What do you think about this? I'm developing this. What do you think about it?" That only facial expression has finished the person, number one. He didn't say a word. So it can be verbal or non-verbal. It can be verbal or non-verbal. This time around, the person did not say a word, but the person will just... When they're saying a word, it might be like, "Do you know how to do anything good at all?" Hey. So, you see, emotional abuse can be verbal or it can be non-verbal. Yes, when your spouse or your spouse, let me use spouse here so that it can be male, husband or wife, is making a request from you, even sexual advances, that is the person's right, and you're not responding, is an abuse. Yes. Even financial assistance, of which anybody could give, and you're not saying a word, it's an abuse. Or such one where the person is seeking your opinion, please can you tell me, is this nice or not? And you're not saying a word. And you turn your face away. And you start making a call. Snubbing. That's also abuse. You don't know what it does to the person's psyche. Now, having said this, we're going to be looking at the causes, possible causes of emotional abuse and what to do. Make sure you watch this video to the end, because I'm going to tell you a few things on what to do if you are in one form of emotional abuse or the other. But at the moment, let us identify some causes, what actually can cause emotional abuse. Predominantly, it's not only money, but money is most time the most critical thing that causes all these abuses, whether physical or emotional. Money in the sense that when there is financial instability in a home, whichever side it is, on the spouse it is, the other person seems to carry some kind of control. At times, if it is on the woman, at times it's on the man. When it's on the man, how do you do to your wife? It's on the woman, well, so how do you allow abuse or emotional abuse to come in? You do not need to control anybody. You're supposed to live in love in your marriages. You're not supposed to be controlling. It's not about any supremacy. Somebody is in charge in a home, that's fine. For us Christians, we know that the responsibility of the leadership in the home is bestowed on the man. But after the leader, what next? The followers. A leader must be a good leader that leads well so that the followers could follow. A leader needs assistance. For me, I think, and I define the role of a leader that doesn't have a good assistant is in trouble. So, spouse, man and woman, husband and wife, is in a state of leadership in their relationship. If your bestowed upon you financial muscle, it has not given you the impetus to run down your spouse, whether you're a man or woman. At the marriage, we are told that everything you have is for both of you. So it's not anybody's own. It's supposed to be communal, shared. But when you are using financial muscle against your spouse, you are abusing him or her. You are abusing him or her. Secondly, outside financial instability, financial stability can equally cause a problem. Somebody will not say how. I'm talking about a situation whereby two couples, they're doing well. Both of them are financially stable. This one, if it is not greed, is jealous. They should look at it to know what actually is making them irritable. Is one spouse jealous of the other person? Oh, how he or she wishes he never had money. It can also trigger emotional abuse. Another thing that can also bring in emotional abuse is infidelity. If either of the spouses is cheating on the other person and the other person is trying to talk about it without that person trying to, be considerate or listen or feels, it's his or her right to do so, or making the other person not to speak out, is an emotional abuse. The other person goes through pain and trauma. It's an emotional abuse. It can even be warned with defiance. Don't ever, as if, and in this case, permit me to digress, men, as if the woman cannot say it out. Yes, in this side, yeah, because often it's a man that, I heard of a woman that saw the husband and the girlfriend. He did not say a word. He got on the man, came back home and beat her. Here we're not talking about beating. I couldn't understand why the man could beat the woman. Honestly, I don't know. The woman did not say a word at home. He still, beat her. So, but we're not talking about beating today. We're talking about emotional abuse. I'm saying that a spouse that cheats on the other spouse and does not want that spouse to express herself or himself for what the person is doing, is an emotional abuse. Whatever is your reason for doing it, you need to dialogue and discuss things. Another thing again that could cause emotional abuse is couple in the waiting when babies don't arrive as expected in marriage. This can trigger abuse. Either at times you see patient men, husband, the wife is not feeling happy about that. The husband is patiently counseling her. Don't worry, God. That one, she is going through pain. But the abuse here comes when in this case, you know what I'm saying, the woman in this case, for instance, is the one, then the husband people will not allow her to rest. She does not rest. She's called names. This can also put a woman under emotional abuse. What about a situation whereby a man has issue, and for instance, doctor says the man and woman are okay. The woman, you're okay, and then you come back home. You don't want the man to rest. You use it to talk to him. You use it to... A woman, if you're doing that, you're also abusing the man. It's an emotional abuse. So, emotional abuse or abuse, domestic abuse does not have the face of a man or woman. However, it's much on the women, that's it. But men also go through abuse. When they speak out, you will know they go through abuse. Some women are actually troublesome and difficult, just like some men are. So that's why I don't want to make it a woman thing, but generally speaking to couples, that emotional abuse is something we shall not encourage in a relationship. Abuse of any sort, whether physical or emotional, should be avoided at all costs in a relationship because of its subsequent issue about mental health, which I will discuss in another video about the impact of domestic abuse, whether physical or emotional. That would be kept for another day, on its impact on the mental health of both men and women. So today we are looking at emotional abuse and its impact as another heavy weight against people in relationship called marriage, that it should not be encouraged in a home. Now, another thing that can cause emotional abuse is power. Who holds power? Issue of power tussle, supremacy. I am the man. No doubt you are the man. It's not under contest. Most time when I see people who are talking, somebody telling me, I have money. If you needed to tell somebody what you are, who you are, number one, you don't have self-confidence. A confident person knows who he or she is. It's not under context, like I'm a woman. When people try to talk about reminding, I don't like you, don't remind me I am a woman. There's no need of reminding me. You are the man. But when you just say, I am the man, is something wrong? Why do you suddenly forget you are? Why is it an issue? Woman, what is it? Husband and wife should learn how to balance their responsibilities in the house. If you balance it, there won't be any issue. Besides, what are you struggling about? I know people that met yourself and say you were love bets. Is this relationship or something not supposed to be a love affair? What is happening? In fact, I'm confused. Why is it suddenly turning into business? Why is it turning into suddenly like a part? I don't know what to call it. It's supposed to be, don't forget, it's supposed to be a love affair. It's not supposed to be business. It's not supposed to be community where people are struggling and fighting. So, issue of power tussle should not have a reason. If you remember the fundamental reason why you came together, is because you're in love and you want to live happily together in love and not anything. If you leave your foundation on love, nothing will happen. There won't be power tussle because everybody will know their quota, what to do and what not to do. You don't tell an adult, hey, come out of the sun. In my adage, they say you don't tell an adult to do that because he or she, when sun is beating you, he will come out of the sun. So why do we have to struggle for power, whose own, where it is. It all falls back on control. Be that as it may, finally, like I told you towards the end of this video, I will tell you what to do if you're in any form of emotional abuse. No. First of all, identify the type of abuse where you are. Some abuses are periodic, meaning they are transient. I don't want to blow grammar here. Something causes it, and when that thing goes, it stops. A childless couple, waiting couple in the waiting, if that is causing pressure on them and making any of them to get any sort of abuse, emotional abuse, you know that when they have children or a child, it starts going down. In that case, you see that if infertility is the problem that is causing your own, it's better you start seeking proper medical attention and counsel on that to resolve that, so that it's not a situation whereby running away is the solution. Please, this one is like periodic. Try to look for a solution by first going for medical attention and also committing it into the hands of God and praying about it, because sometimes these things are not as we think. God has answered prayers without any medical killing, and people have gone to hospital and they certified okay, yet they were not able to conceive until the power of God came in. So you combine the power of God praying and then going to medical, because by the time babies start coming, the pressure goes off, and you see it doesn't worth separation, divorce, and all what's not happy. So the next one also could be looked at as per work pressure. Pressure from work. Sometimes people work with difficult bosses or difficult work colleagues. Whenever they are coming back from work or they remember to go to work, why not change that job if it is causing problem in your home? Oh, no. It's a highly paid job. You go there for pay, you come back, you don't have peace in your home. Does it worth it? Why not patiently look for another job? Who told you won't get another good one? Besides, so your relationship is now good for you to trade it in for just that little difference in money. It doesn't worth it, I want to tell you. Think about changing that job. If this becomes your own case and you think you're a man or woman watching me and you're the one that abuses because of the pressure from work, because that job is not really good, it makes you to have pressure, but it is highly paid, you may start considering changing that job for your own happiness. For your happiness, it was more than the money, silver or gold. Yes. Is it infidelity? I don't know. Some of you will not want me to talk about this. I don't know. Think about it. Are you the one going through the emotional abuse of an infidel kind of husband or wife? Have a dialogue between yourselves, and then see if it's something that could be avoided and stopped. Because find out what is the cause between you people and solve it, so that your peace comes back and abuse will cease and everybody will be fine. Is it because of financial instability? You man, you woman, don't sit at home, go and look for something. Go and learn trade, vocation. Clean your certificate, look for a job. Start frying and roasting akara and granite. Suya, shawarma, go and learn how to do these things. And start. Keep yourself busy. Emotional abuse recipient will cease. Emotional abuse giver also will not see where to give. And peace will be reckoned. It will be too much. Love will thrive. It has a solution also. However, having said all this, emotional abuse is tantamount to toxicity, toxic relationship, poison, cancerous, carcinogenic. It's as bad as the physical abuse that they beat somebody. It's even worse than that, because this one destroys you from your head to your toe. The other person is not better. They receive physical abuse, people see it and give her pity and treat it and everything. Your own, nobody sees it. You are dying gradually. For any emotional abuse that cannot be resolved after all the solutions and suggestions I gave, not solutions, suggestions I made, please, seek counsel. If it's too much, step out first. Don't always forget that rather than be late, be delayed, be late. Emotional abuse of all sorts must be toned down, must say no to it. Should never be encouraged from man or woman. No nagging, no snubbing, no use of deadly abusive words and discouraging words. Work on your esteem. Work on your esteem, man. Work on your esteem, woman. Do not wait for people to tell you how good you are. Know things you are good about and things you are good at, so that you know who you are. Do not wait for people to approve you. Approval addiction, according to Joyce Meyer. Go and read her book on addiction. Approval addiction. It's not good. When people don't appraise you, you are nobody. If nobody tells you, oh, you are looking good today, you think you are horrible. It's not true, because that can also, if you don't have a very good self-esteem too, nobody is abusing you. You might be the one that makes yourself susceptible to abuse. So work up on your esteem. If it is job you need, go and look for a job. If you don't have work, learn trade, learn things and start doing, so that it will boost your esteem, personal esteem and confidence. Because when your personal esteem is beefed up, I want to tell you, you will not be an abuse giver. You will not be a recipient of abuse. Either way, you are fine. If they are giving, it will not touch you. You will not receive. You will not even give anybody. So you see how you could improve yourself by taking a step to improve yourself. And emotional abuse is not good for you. Please, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments. See you in my next video. God bless you.